Transformation takes time. My name is Dr. Ginny Baro, and welcome to the Dr. Ginny Show. I love that I belong to several communities where every week I get inspired by my mentors. One of my communities is with Fabian Fredrickson, who is a business coach. Another one is with Dean Graciosi. And this week, I am sharing with you one of the golden nuggets and inspirations I received from Dean this week. And that is exactly what I said already, which is transformation doesn't happen overnight. I know from my own example, when I began my journey of my professional and personal transformation back in the year 2000, I was a very different person back then than I am today, 24 years later. Every single year of my personal transformation has brought me to a new level of self-awareness, of understanding of my own strengths, my areas of opportunity, as we call it in the corporate world, AKA my weaknesses, where I identify what my fears are, what my struggles are. And every single year, they transform, they change and morph from what they used to be to a new level of limitation, whether it's a story I tell myself, a negative narrative, whatever the case may be. I'm also much more aware of how I show up every single day in my business settings, in my personal life, to my relationships with my son, with my family. And this self-awareness has made me a better person. The communities that we surround ourselves with are so telling of where we are in our evolution. If you find yourself in a community or in an environment where you are constantly fighting negativity, where the bad news and what is wrong is the predominant topic of conversation versus ideas, what you're creating, what is happening that's exciting, that you are a part of, and that the people around you happen to be collaborating with you in these creations. All of this is very telling as to whether you are in the right environment. If you are an individual, I advise you to find the environments that support your growth and development, because every effort and investment you make in finding those communities and surrounding yourself with people who are elevating in the way they think and what they are here to create in the world is going to benefit you not only personally from a personal fulfillment perspective, it's also going to benefit your career and your professional growth. How we show in our private spaces and how we show in our business environments are correlated because we ultimately are the common denominator. We are the factor we take everywhere we go. And so if you find yourself wanting to continue to grow and advance as a leader, and you find that you are feeling like a salmon swimming upstream, that's a sign that it's time to start looking for proximity to other people that are thinking more like a growth-minded person as you are evolving to become. And if you are an organization, I want to invite you to consider, how are your leaders transforming? Do you see that they are growing? How are they growing? And if they're not, what's getting in the way? It's important because if we don't have growth-minded leaders in our organization, we're going to struggle to create new products and services, to embrace new ideas, to adapt to technologies that are now changing the way we do business. And the more we struggle against these natural forces, the longer it will take you as a company, as an organization, to keep up with the market, with the technology, with the way of thinking that is dominating in today's environment. And guess what? our people, our talent are constantly evolving. So if as senior leaders, we are not able to see where we feel stuck in our own thinking and we are unable to evolve our thinking, we are going to struggle to be the leaders of the future, to be the visionaries for our organizations. And sometimes this may seem easier depending on the environments that you are in. For example, startup, we have to be nimble, think ahead of the curve, and that's the environment that we happen to be in. If you are in a more established business, which is most of the businesses that I do business with, that I help and support as a leadership coach, career strategist, #1 best-selling author and transformational speaker, if you happen to be in an organization that is a more mature company, it's not going to be as easy to help your leaders evolve and transform. So whether you are the individual who is in this evolution, reaching your next level of potential, of knowledge, of know-how, and bringing that to your company, or the company who is interested, looking to develop your leaders. Either way, it's important to remember that transformation takes time. However, we must take action today. We need to understand what are we doing personally and as a company to ensure that we are evolving as leaders and that our leaders are evolving along with the rest of the marketplace, the economy, the needs of our customers, our stakeholders. So being patient is going to take us a very long way. Everybody's going to move at their own pace, personally and as a team of leaders. What is currently the pace of your business? How are you leaders evolving? Are you satisfied? Or how satisfied are you with the speed at which your leaders are growing their thinking? And if you find that perhaps they're not moving as fast as you would like, that they could use a boost in evolving and adapting to changes, then we should talk, because that is something that we can definitely support you with. One of the keys that's super important to keep in mind as you continue on this journey of growth and evolution and developing into your next version as a leader or team of leaders is that it's extremely valuable to celebrate the wins along the way. Celebrating the small wins is what gives us the fuel to keep going. It's like stopping at a gas station and asking for more fuel. It's like breathing clean air when you go to the mountains. It's what allows us to ground in what is working and stop our negative bias, which is our brain's default, and only look for problems. When we stop and celebrate the small wins, they stack up. And as we do this for ourselves, we learn to do it with our teams. Let's be realistic. Our teams are running on all engines. We are burning the candle on both ends. We are doing more with less. We are now stretched thin as it relates to our resources because we're trying to be as efficient as we can with the budgets that we have and cutting back on cost, which is always a mandate from the top. So how can we support our teams under these circumstances to stay the course, to be patient, to continue transforming and adapting to changes that continually happen? We must celebrate the small wins. We must stop and be grateful for what is working while still focused on the big vision for the company, for the team, and our KPIs and the results we're looking for. This practice of celebrating the small wins, which is what we call the gratitude practice in our community, is what allows all of us to not only be high achieving and high performing, but also realize when we need to rest and realize how far we have come. And it is what continually helps us enjoy the journey. I have concluded in all the years I've been in business that the entire thing is the journey. There is no destination. So how can we do all this and not enjoy the journey? Let's celebrate with our teams. Let's acknowledge each other. Let's support each other along the way. Let's give each other the resources we need to continue to thrive. And when we notice that someone needs help, let's acknowledge that and let's give them the help they need. And if you need support in helping your teams to continue to grow, to develop critical leadership skills that they require to be more engaging, leading, engaging, and supporting their teams forward and helping them thrive, then let's connect. Because we know that it's not all rainbows and roses. Everybody has challenges. Every organization has goals they want to meet, and we have challenges we need to overcome in order to achieve those goals. And I know that you are also stretched thin. And if you need support from my team, from us here at Executive Bound, we will be more than happy to provide that support in any way that we can. You can always find us at callwithginny.com. And if you happen to be a leader who wants to continue to develop yourself and be in a community that will support and empower your growth, then let's connect. I look forward to it. Live with purpose, live with joy.